Hello, a very good evening to you all at Follow Everton. If you're watching, I'm Ryan, I'm the channel admin, and I'm here today to talk about everything to do with Everton, including all the latest transfer news. And it is a bit of an open forum tonight, so if you want to pop on, of course, please let me know in the comments and I can send you a link to join. I would like to hear from you all. And of course, if you just prefer to comment, I'll make sure they are brought up on the screen. Make sure you like the video. And of course, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Hello to the comments, people in the comments. We've got Eugene. Hi, Eugene, TJ Mid, Emma, David, Mr. Blue Skies, Neil, the Blues, Damien. Thank you for joining, and at least 30 others watching live here on this Tuesday night. Now, we've been starved of a little bit of Everton news. We had all the drama last week of course, Bill Kenwright staying on as chairman, not interim chairman. He's still the chairman. I want to reiterate that they never used the word interim when it came to Bill Kenwright or Farhad Mashiri, actually. We haven't had as much drama. The Blues, the players returned to pre-season on Thursday, the 6th of July. I'm not particularly excited, I've got to be honest with you. As it stands, I would probably snap your hand off for 17th place in the league. And I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy or relish watching, never mind doing videos, talking about Michael Keane fluffing his lines or Calvert-Lewin getting injured again every 5 minutes. I really want some positivity and I want some signings. And I'm disappointed, I've got to be honest with you. I'm disappointed we haven't got any players in before the start of pre-season, especially with the Moise Keane money and the Anthony Gordon money falling on the previous tax year, financial year, I should say. I would have preferred some business in. I mean, I think Everton are not going to do things the easy way. And it is absolutely no surprise that we've got no signings coming in ahead of pre-season. However, there have been plenty of rumours and plenty of links with players. And that's something I want to talk about on this stream. So bear with me 1 second. Chris is going to join. He's got a 6-digit code sent to me. Give me 1 sec. We'll try and Chris, give me 30 seconds. Right, we might have a special guest coming in. Hopefully, in the next few minutes, we will see one of our absolutely fantastic hosts, Chris Goodman. I'm just waiting on him. So stay tuned with that. I don't want to go too much into transfers then without Chris. I think I want his opinion. So good evening to everyone in the comments. And let's talk about some innocuous things for now. Eugene, DCL will be a dad. Yes, I saw that his wife, partner, he's not married, is pregnant. Congratulations to Calvert-Lewin. I wonder if that's how he's been getting injured. But I really, really want to see Calvert-Lewin in a good frame of mind next season and hopefully having some impact. But certainly for me, I'm not sticking any eggs in Calvert-Lewin's basket. I want plenty of baskets and I want plenty of new signings in those baskets ready for us to pluck and get in that team and contribute. And so I think it would be gross negligence and extremely naive if Everton simply think Calvert-Lewin is going to be the number one starting striker for Everton next season. I think 2 seasons of injuries, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to have a third the same. So I want to see some recruitment, and I'm delighted to be smiling in where it's my buddy. It's the man. It's the main man here on the channel. It's Domino Chris. Welcome back, Chris.
Wow. This feels weird being back at home with a microphone and, well, just at Goodison Park like normal.
Chris, I want to talk about all the elephants in your room.
Okay.
You've been on a mad one, haven't you? Driving around the whole of America. You smashed your car. Still managed to continue.
Yeah, still haven't made that one public yet. But spoiler alert, we faced.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. A few people know. It's not necessarily a secret. It's just going to be like a full thing. But for those who don't know, there were many obstacles along the way. We'll just say that among them,
unbelievable.
among them driving through a tornado. The obvious one was, the entire trip from Park 1 to Park 30 was a little bit over 15,000 miles, but in total, with the extra drives I made, it was actually a little bit over 17,000. So,
yeah.
But we're here, and
Any
that's
more miles, and you'd need a new car anyway.
Well, I had that's the thing. Like I had a rental car, right? And so that's why it was able to continue the next day so quickly after that nonsense in the middle of it, was because my buddy works for a rental car agency, and then he set me up with another one. But honestly, I wasn't sure if I was mentally ready to go at that point.
When's the video dropping then?
So I'm waiting on a few props because I'm kind of turning it into a bit of a show. So I would say by mid-July, I'd give it another maybe 10 days or so, and then we'll have the first. But it's not just one. It's an individual video for each stadium. So we're going to have at least 30 videos with a bunch of shenanigans in between.
Well, we got to have one video as well, which is snippets of
everything.
We'll
we'll have one wrapping it up. I'm actually
Domino's Journey.
I've got the perfect background song for it, but I'm trying to get licensed to use that song. So it's you know how it is working in this crazy professional YouTube world. You just got to go through hurdles and over hurdles, I should say, and to be able to do a lot of stuff. So
I really look forward to seeing some of that content. If you can do a small condensed sort of like a 10-minute roundup thingy, I will definitely share it on here, because I think people will be really.
You don't want to watch all the videos. Is that what you're saying?
And what I'm thinking is that it would go the one that you do a slightly shorter one with everything in, and it's like the title, I visited every stadium, that will go viral.
Right.
Whereas the other ones, the other ones are going to be interesting for the people that find it relevant, but you could definitely go viral if you can do one. Look, big task, get yourself some Final Cut Pro and an Apple Mac, and you'll be sat there for the next. I think you'll have that video. I think Everton might actually have a player signed by the time you finish that video, because there's a lot of content.
That's the new game, isn't it? What's going to take longer. I don't even. Yeah. It's a good segue. I don't even know where to begin with that, if we're being honest. Here's what I want to think. Okay. Complete devil's advocate argument in favor of Everton, pretending like they know what they're doing, right? Let the players, or some of the players, at least at the beginning, go for big money, whereas when the market sort of goes down a little bit as the transfer window gets a little bit later, perhaps we can get a little bit lesser of a price. We've seen this game before, though, and then all of a sudden the price goes up because they know Everton are desperate, like it did back in January, and then all of a sudden we end up with no players. And again, I'm not defending them. It's more of I really, really, really hope that's the case. But we know it's not. It's just a bunch of nonsense. So,
well, I don't buy into the whole let's wait and see who becomes available in the window and who becomes in the market. We should be proactive as a football club.
I agree.
Know exactly what we want. Be speaking to agents about players that are looking for steps up or looking for moves to England, where you can still earn more money than in other countries. So it's, for me, frustrating that there hasn't been any business done. We should be proactive. We shouldn't be waiting for market changes and chain deals. We've proven it doesn't work. We've left it late. Then we go in for the players and they go, no, we're not selling unless we've got a replacement or high fee. And how often, Chris, do you see at the end of the transfer window on Twitter a load of things where it's like, Everton bid for this guy, Everton bid for this guy, it's a last minute bid, it's a high fee, but it's not high enough. And there's always, oh, well, we can't sell him. And there'll be some quote from the fucking guy, the CEO of the other club.
Right.
We couldn't, we can't sell him. We've had this bid from Everton, but we can't sell. It's almost like we pay them to say this to make us.
That's what I mean. We see this. We pay to watch the same movie twice a year, every year, and it ends the same way, and we hate it every time. Yet we sit there and torture ourselves. That's what Everton is, isn't it?
Well, we know. And listen, we would have ideally liked the clean break, distancing ourselves from Everton as much as possible, but then we had the charade with the board changes and all that kind of stuff. And so it has been quite stressful, even without transfers. A lot has happened in terms of the board changes, and I haven't really got too much of an information from you and your thoughts on that. But
well, it's that one's easy, and there's no. I'm gonna probably say exactly what everyone else has, so there's no need to even go into full detail. It's just it becomes, you really do okay. It's one thing to be over there in it every day. You really do question your fandom from a place like America and why Americans stay on board with this, because they're just laughing at us, especially with the board thing. The board thing's hilarious. It's bad enough that Chairman Bill stayed on, right? But I texted you the day of and I said he really appointed himself on the board. And I was referring to Mashiri. It's just, it became so incredibly laughable that, and as you said, I think it's a permanent thing. I don't think it's a temporary thing where he's just going to be sat there. Now, here's what some people, though, aren't really saying. That was kind of the case the whole time. Whether he's visually on the board or not, a lot of people think Farhad Mashiri is making all the decisions, the nonsensical decisions anyway, right? And so if that's the case, I guess what does it matter if his name is attached to it on the official board? That doesn't make it any less frustrating and stressful from our perspective, but I don't know if it necessarily changes much. But again, it's just kind of laughable. I don't understand what he could possibly mean by his professional acumen and his history of making good decisions and this experience and this and that, because they've all been negative. I mean, it's a load of nonsense. And
I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say that Bill Kenwright was quite good until Mashiri bought his stake.
Why? But you don't even mean that, though. I know you're playing devil's advocate, but you don't mean
that. Under Moyes, we bought some good players and we didn't have any money. And we thought money with Moyes would be the answer. I mean, obviously, Moyes left the season before. Martinez came in, and then he went a bit. He struggled, but this is the thing. I think there has been some good times under Bill Kenwright.
Oh boy. I don't know how I haven't gotten that blasted behind me on some crazy poster or something. It should just stay there forever. Listen,
get that on the back of your new Everton shirt. We've had good times. Oh my God, that would be so funny.
I might actually be welcome in Liverpool as a fan rather than being told to go away because you don't live here.
Oh my God, I've got to do it. I've got to go and get it in the small letters on the back of the shirt.
Yeah, go for it. You could put the letters on yourself if someone won't do it for you.
Yeah,
listen. We're all at the end of the day. We're all hoping for the best. I made this comparison multiple times for the last 2 years. When you're on an airplane, you don't want the pilot to crash the plane because you're on the plane. So yes, we're still pulling for the people in power to make the right decisions, and of course, we're still backing the team and all that. But it's just I'm mentally drained from it. Quite honestly, I don't care about Everton right now, and I mean that respectfully because the season's not. I don't care. Clip it and ship it. I don't care. The season's not started yet. I don't have the capacity to care right now because we put so much into the last couple of years. I'm actually out of energy. And I know we're going to be frustrated here in about 6 weeks. And we're going to say, why didn't this player do X, Y, Z, as you say?
It's unbearable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. But nothing's changed. Well, I can't say that. The only thing that's changed is players have left the club. So by that token, things have changed. But it's about as thin as I can ever remember it, right? The squad.
We're going to go through the squad. We're going to go through transfers.
By the way, I care about Everton. You know what I meant. Don't be that.
Well, no, I know it's a self-protectionary method of avoiding the stress, but really you get hooked in. I find that if I try and avoid Twitter and like it's full of toxic pricks, and then I'll go on it, and you actually do miss the kind of what's going on with Everton, and it's hard to stay away. It really is. Mr. Blue Sky saying he's got his new shirt on. He's wearing it. Great. And if you, I've got mine on. I bought mine.
How's the quality? That question is for both of you.
Well, first and foremost, if you want to buy one of these shirts, there's a link in the description. And if you click on that and go through and buy anything from the Everton store, the channel will get a small percentage back. Doesn't cost anything extra.
And I promise you, we will not spend any more money on Jeff's internet. This will actually go towards useful things.
Yes, like the giveaway for the free Everton home shirt, which I'm running. We've had 100 entries so far. If you're interested in that, go on Twitter, search for Follow Everton, of course. And all you have to do, because you're already a subscriber, and I'm assuming you already follow us on Twitter, is just retweet. And that will count as one entry. And on the 6th of July, someone will be drawn at random and win.
It's my sister's birthday. Maybe she'll win.
We'll get her to enter that competition.
If I win, I promise I'll put it back in the pool. But Amy has said if she wins, she's keeping it. Hot takes.
I think for the purposes of integrity, anyone who actually wins, and I will record what actually happens with this shirt draw. It's like a tweet picker thing. they can keep the shirt and distribute it as they want. So if you want, Chris, you can distribute it to whoever you want.
No, I was just Amy didn't really say that, but no, come on. If we're on the channel, we have to give it back. Come on, I'll just go out and say that. If I see Mabsy win that and then keep it, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to get in fights for him, and I don't want to do that right now.
No, I'm working on some shirts for the channel, but that one, that shirt that I am personally giving away, and if you can't wait, and in my opinion, you probably shouldn't wait to get this kit because it's a good one, then you should click that link in the description and buy something from the Everton store. And
popular over there. Take your pill.
No, Stephen messaging me whilst we're live. Buy yourself something from the store, and we get a small percentage back. We'll reinvest it into the channel in various ways. You asked me about the quality of the shirt. Of course, I have to be completely transparent with you, and it would be unfair for me to say, oh my God, this is so luxurious. And it's like, it's a cheaply made shirt. I got to be honest with my audience here. I mean, it didn't stop me buying it. I knew exactly what I was getting into. It's the Everton home shirt, but you have little bits of where the quality you think could be better. I look at other teams in the league, and I think they have probably got nicer badges the way they're done on the badge. This is quite a simple sort of way of doing it, but there are shirts better quality out there. And listen, you're going to buy it. You're going to buy it regardless, but it could be better. £65 is quite a lot of money for a football kit. Mind you, Real Madrid's is at over £100, but you're paying for the name.
Well, the quality is. I think it's well over 130 across the park too. So we're not robbing our supporters anyway.
It's no worse than any of the previous Hummel kits, really. The quality is the same. The quality is. What I do like actually about it, Chris, is you won't be able to tell well off the pictures, but this kind of pattern isn't printed on. It's actually embroidered in properly. So not embroidered. It's kind of like in the material. If you know what I'm saying, it's like instead of white, they've actually used blue rather than stick something on. So it's kind of seamless. I like how the chevrons are less dramatic. They've definitely made them smaller and more condensed. They used to be quite big and dominant. So I do prefer that. There's a little tower on the back of the neck. I can't really show you, but doesn't do an awful lot for me. I'm not mad on that sort of simplistic graphic. I get Web 3.0 and all that sort of thing, but I don't like it particularly. It's like a penis. It doesn't look that good, or a carrot, or whatever you want to say. It doesn't look that good. Probably don't want to crop that. And
I'm absolutely clipping that right after the show.
It doesn't particularly look that good. I've seen us do NSNO and other things that are a little bit more sophisticated. I'm not mad on that, but the rest of the shirt's fantastic. Obviously, we love steak. Not the meat. We like steak.
Some of us like steak.
Some of us like steak, but yeah, it's nice.
Shout out to everyone who had that on their bingo card today, referring to the shirt and a penis in the same sentence. Well done. Congrats to everyone.
I have been told that they'll let me know when the second and third kits are coming out.
Right.
However, I do actually, I did know there was a collar on this for a while, because when we were in the box, I was reliably informed.
Yes, and, very reliable source.
I do kind of know what the second and third kits are going to be like anyway.
I dig the collar. I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to be able to reveal anything, but I will know in advance, and I'll be able to get hold of a shirt.
Okay, I have a question, and this is very important. So of my plans to possibly do the entirety of the 92 in the very near future, right?
Yeah, that's Miss Sugar.
What's that? Yeah,
Miss Sugar. Crazy,
right. Crazy. Yeah. So I've thought of a couple of rules of this, right? It's not like America with baseball.
You've got to wear an Everton kit in every single stadium.
No. That's absolutely not a rule. And here's why. For a couple of reasons. One, I'm thinking I'm going to get a food.
Hello, I'm here. I'm an Everton fan. I'm here to watch Everton today. Mate, this is Manchester United versus Blackburn in the FA Cup 4th round. What are you doing here?
Sorry, dumb American. I could pull that almost every time.
Sorry, mate. Just I couldn't resist.
No, that's fine, because here's the thing. Well, okay. Hang on. Let me finish. So America's very different with their stadiums with unique beers and local and things like that. It's not really that way with football over there. It's Carling or Coors at Goodison, right? So it's not going to be so much of a beer. Maybe I'll get a food item at every stadium. But the thing is, I will be sitting. I think I'm going to sit in a portion of or a section of the home area.
You're blending.
Well,
you've got a choice but to do that.
No, hang on. Now, what this obviously means is that I will sit in the home end across the park. Will I be thrown off the channel and then not allowed back anywhere near Goodison Park after I do that?
Personally, I think you should try and get in the away end for that one.
See, I've been in the away end twice. So
just use your old footage then and no one will know.
I don't have. No, I'm going to do it. I mean, I have no. I'm wearing I think maybe like 25 out of the 30 American parks. I was wearing a black shirt. I'll be very neutral. I'm not going to sit there and rah chant. I'm just saying it's going to be fucking weird. That's all. And I don't know how.
Have you got your balaclava sorted?
I don't know what that means.
Balaclava. You know, like the black thing over your face and you can just literally see your eyes.
Oh,
it's like what robbers have.
We just call that a mask, but yeah. No, I've not got that sorted. I'm not trying to get arrested in another country. Or here.
With blue flares. The troll turn up.
It will be a lot.
This guy was banned from 92 stadiums on his first attempt.
God, that's the thing. Like I think at almost every one of them, I'll be fine. Like as far as neutrality, I don't think anybody's going to be upset. Even if they know I'm an Everton supporter, I think that would only be, honestly, I think that would only be a problem at one. Like much of Manchester United won't really care, and Newcastle and places like that. But Liverpool, I don't know how they're going to react. But
there's a lot of tourist fans in these places anyway.
Right, exactly. So I'll probably just be talking about the 4th of July with people in my section anyway. So shout out, by the way, to everyone who listened to the American National Anthem today. I didn't, but some people in the chat knew it was a holiday. So
happy American Day.
Thank you. Shout out to David. It will be less than 17,000 miles. That'll be a much easier daily trek and journey. And here's the thing. There are pros and cons to, what I just did. It was an incredible, thrilling thing. There's a certain aspect of always being on the move and things like that. And it was awesome. But the major con, in my opinion, was that some of these places were really cool, and I didn't get to spend any time there because it was all some of them was just game go. So that's what I want to put more emphasis on when I'm, if I do the NFL this fall or the Prem this fall or whatever I do this fall and the upcoming winter and all that.
Chris, coming to the UK and doing the 92 stadiums, there's not any culture difference between, say, going to Leeds and then going down to. There's not an awful lot. I mean, it's not like you're going one side of America to the other side.
Well, what do you mean? There is a culture difference, though. Especially like forget Leeds, but just think of Liverpool and London. That's a huge culture difference.
It's not the same. It's not going to be. You're not going to find it as interesting as what you could have done over there. And I think you could go back round and do a bit of traveling or whatever if that's what you wanted to do. But
right. Well, no,
17,000 miles. It's not going to be anywhere near that because
that's good. I can't do that
miles.
Again. That was insane.
I don't know how you're going to time this as well. I mean,
it won't be a speed run. Like let's say, a perfect world, right? If I do the NFL this fall, which that's in question, but if I do that, that'll end. Regular season of the NFL ends at the end of December, and so then it's going to be freezing cold. But let's just say I start the UK thing in January, which I don't think I will, but let's just say I do. Then I've got the entirety of January to May. So theoretically, I've got 150 days almost, maybe 135, 140, whatever, to do 92. Yes, it's a haul, but
hang on,
okay.
Hello.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
Are you looking for are you still looking to join an Everton channel? Yeah, I've got a vacancy at the moment. I've got 9 people who don't turn up, and the one that has turned up, he's fucking off again.
Oh boy.
Back to the UK. All right. Thanks, Bill. See you soon. Bye now. Send my best to Denise. Oh, wait, she's gone.
I thought you were gonna say thanks, Tom, because TD26 is now available. Too
Chris,
soon? I don't know.
Keep us posted on that.
I'll be around. The only issue, but here's the thing: I'll be available. But what it was like when I was trying to jump on the channel the first time, and the internet was so shit over there. That's the problem.
Yeah, you'll have to invest in a decent 4G connection or whatever you need to do, and we'll make it work anyway. Right. Don't worry. The main thing is you get your video out. I'll just have to make sure we can get Mabsy out of his
There
cave
we
and try
go.
and get
Now
him on
TJ's got it nailed here. Same shite, just different accents. True, just like America, quite frankly.
But try and condense it in a 10-minute video, and that'll be more likely to go viral. When do the 92 videos.
Over there, yeah.
Take your fucking ages. Are you asking why I'm swearing? I feel like this is a little bit of a release now. Past 9 o'clock at night.
Past
This
the
is the watershed,
That's right,
as we call it, and I haven't swore on the channel for a while, but I've got to be honest, I'm extremely frustrated. I mean, I've been following all of the transfer news, getting you just sense the same sort of thing as we're repeating, but we're going to go through some of the news now. I'm going to start with, let's go back to yesterday, if that's okay.
Sure.
Swansea have discussed a swap deal between João Pirou and Ellis Sims. Now, Ellis Sims has been subject to several bids at Coventry City, Swansea. Everton want around £7 to £10 million for the young striker. I mean, I can clearly see that he's not going to make it at Premier League level. You might quote me on this and it might come back to haunt me, but I think you can tell really when a player's got that kind of cutting edge about them. And in those moments we have seen him, he's looked like a bit of a lump up front. I don't think he's a Daesh presser. For a big lad, I'm not quite sure he's that aggressive, and he doesn't seem to bully the defenders. I mean, we did see him breeze past Koulibaly, but I think that was the one time in all of his appearances where I was impressed.
But what's the sample size? How many appearances did he make? And I'm not being funny. I just really don't know.
So would you prefer to hold on to him?
I don't know. And that's the thing. I don't even know if the lad's even been given a chance. I mean, you saw, and I always say that with the asterisk that maybe there's something we're not seeing. Maybe there's a bad attitude. Maybe there's something in training, because I'm going to be honest with you. If we saw, as we did multiple times, Neil Maupay playing over Ellis Sims, there's something wrong. I mean, we can question a few of Dyche's decisions over the season, and we have, but we've always also said he speaks sense and he doesn't seem to be stupid. So surely he's not playing Maupay over. Maupay was atrocious. There's no other way to describe it.
1 goal in 29 appearances
for
Neil Maupay, and I think it was just the 1 goal for Ellis Sims as well, but he didn't play as many minutes. I mean, Neil Maupay is absolutely. I mean, we'll talk about who we need to get rid of on top of these once we've done through this transfer rumors. But Sims, for me, I think he's one we've got to cash in on. A clever team there would get the 7 to 10 million if he was a. You're shaking your head. He's not worth. I know he's not worth it, but if he was Man City or Liverpool, it was the exact same player. They'd be getting 15 million.
But it's not, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Is it worth cashing in now, or is it worth actually trying to? Well, I mean, I know we loaned.
Well, I'll tell you what I think Everton should do with Sims. Okay, I don't know a lot about João Pirou. We'll briefly touch on him in a sec. I would sell Sims if someone offered me 7 or 8 million for him, cash up front. He can go. I'd have a buyback.
What if they say 4?
No, well, no, because he has got a value.
That's the point I'm making, though. He's not okay, but the championship's not the Prem. Okay, so who are you going to sell him to? Leicester in the championship? That's what I mean. It's going to have to be a championship side. Then
one of those medium-sized clubs in the championship. Other Coventry's, loads of teams have been linked with him. As Neil said before, we need. The fact that a lot of champ clubs after Sim shows we need to get a good fee. He's available, Dom. He's absolutely available. And we need to get 7 or 8 million for him. Whether I think we can, I don't know. I don't think he's worth that much. As I say, he'll hit double figures in the championship. I think he'll get 15 goals in the championship over a season. So he's got a value, and he'll get better. And he could push someone for a promotion, but a good team would sell him for 7 or 8, have a 15 million buyback clause on that deal, and a 25% sell-on fee. And that's how you do good business. Because you mitigate some of the risk. You appreciate what the team that buys him could do in terms of his development, and then say, well, we could buy him back if we want. But you can generally tell with these players. The one that Swansea apparently are talking about giving us is João Pirou. We would have to probably give him some money as well. This guy's really highly rated, Chris. He's got a 1-2 record at championship level. A little bit more of a dynamic forward there. Some Swansea fans have described him as the best finisher they've had in a long, long time. I'm not going to ask you and make you pretend and do a 1-minute segment on this guy, but that is promising, really. There's also talk Christian Pulisic on loan could be an option
Oh,
from
that would be
Chelsea. Was
amazing.
on. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. And speaking of Chelsea, them and Man City are looking at Everton's left back Samuel Smith. This is something I called out on my own Twitter. Follow Everton. I don't like the fact that you've got 16-year-old lads in a position where we have literally no talent, either in the under-23s or in the first team. And this lad should be thinking, oh my God, I could break through next season,
Right.
try and get on the bench. And then the following season or whatever, I could be the first choice at 17, 18, if he's that good. Because we have a problem area there. And I think Everton are going to prioritise striker. Absolutely. That's why we didn't get Connor Cody. We're prioritising that one area, striker and probably up front on the wings. It's annoying if we lose another talent, Samuel Smith, isn't it, to Chelsea, Man City. But a lot of fans were saying, oh, but it's Man City. Of course he's going to go there. Yeah, but no. They've got world-class players at left back, and the reserve players and the third-choice players are brilliant. Why would he go there? Why would you want to go there? Surely you want to play football first, establish yourself, and then move and command that kind of fee and wages and prestige.
That's definitely how it used to be, but now at this point, it's be a part of a decent team and then get paid £50 million by the Saudis.
Don't get me started on that.
I'm just telling you how it is in 2023. Right now, it's football pretty soon. Or actually, it's golf over here too in America, and it's going to be a lot of other sports pretty soon too. I don't listen to Talk Sport all the time, but I have recently when discussing finances, and it's educate yourself on it. I'm talking to the chat right now because it's a scary thing, and it's going to be a very interesting next few years. And I'll just leave it at that. We're dealing with excuse me. We're dealing with amounts of money no one has ever seen. Ever.
It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. And I have to be honest, they'd have to have a hell of a lot of players in that league to make anyone outside of, Saudi Arabia actually watch them. Because I'll be honest, I don't watch Spanish football, and Spanish football is good.
Right.
I don't watch Italian football or German football or French. Well, not French football isn't amazing, but I don't watch any of these leagues. And, the German league is okay.
I was going to say, I would probably pick the German league next to the Spanish league. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I get the point that you're making. It's
we don't watch them, and there's good players there. So, look, if they get a load of stars, who knows what can do. They're talking about Alex Iwobi in the comments. Neil Michaels is saying, sell Alex Iwobi. I would absolutely. He's a prime candidate. 1 year on his contract, get an extortionate fee for Alex Iwobi, maybe 20 million quid.
I was going to ask what you'd take. 15 was going to be my starting number if you'd take.
Well, to the Saudis.
To this. Well, sure. I just meant
the Saudis. Yeah.
If someone came tomorrow and said 15 for Iwobi, and that's, again, I'm asking, that's where the game gets interesting because we were talking about players to get rid of. What would you actually take for these players? It's just an interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I've done a few tweets. I did a bit of a jokey one. I don't know if you saw about Everton trying to get rid of Michael Keane for 50 million and all of them.
I take all your tweets as jokes at this point.
So. It was funny. It did blow up. It got over 1,000 likes on it. It was like Keane. How Saudis do you want to buy? Michael Keane, esteemed England centre back, Mason Holgate, defensive protege, and all this.
But you also threw one. So speaking of which, that was a good tweet. But you also threw one out about us getting rid of and seemingly upset about Holgate leaving. What are you on?
Can't stand him.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You were upset about that. You were saying something about we should have got Holgate is a player. I don't even.
No, Davis. Annoyed that I was annoyed we didn't get a fee for Davis.
What's someone going to give you a steak bake from Greg's?
So we should be why are we letting everyone go on a free? Who's actually got a value?
Played for about 8 minutes this season. He's contributed nothing in about 3 years. What would someone possibly give us for Tom Davis, who we've said multiple times on this channel doesn't belong anywhere near the Premier League?
Under contract, he's worth like 3-4 million. It's extra money.
It's just no one would offer.
I disagree. I think that we let in too many of the players with an actual value, i.e., low salary, decent-ish, could do something at championship level or whatever. And we failed again. The likes we sell terrible. We're talking about recruiting. Yeah. We sell terrible. Well, Neil Maupay will end up going on loan. We've got to get rid of the guy.
No, he'll. I don't think he'll go on loan. I think he'll leave, but for less than what we would want. I mean, he did nothing.
I'd take 4 million now. I'd take 4 million quid for him. Yeah, because his value is absolutely at the lowest it possibly could
I
be.
agree with that. That's what
So
I'm
they'll
saying.
be inclined to loan him and then sell him next summer. But he's get rid of him.
Maybe a loan, maybe a Keane style loan with obligation to buy or something like that. It's going to be basically a sell on loan.
Let's go through the squad in a sec.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to the transfers because there are a few more players. Just one final thought on Samuel Smith. I think Neil said because he's going under the best manager. He's not. He's going into he's 16. He's not going to go in near the first team.
Real quick, because you mentioned Pulisic earlier. Pulisic is going to Italy, by the way. I would love to have Pulisic. I think he would. I've mentioned not just because they're American. I've mentioned players like Pulisic and Tyler Adams and even Weston McKennie. I think in our system and in our midfield, they would actually thrive given their tenacity and toughness. But Pulisic isn't coming anywhere near Everton as much as
I agree. I think Pulisic would be a good Everton option. Wages mean we can't compete for any of these sort of fringes at Chelsea.
That is an unpopular opinion, sir, I must say.
Thanks, Dave. Would I rather have Ross Barkley or Tom Davis? I'd probably rather have Ross, but the problem is
that's not a fun game.
The salary of Ross Barkley that he's been earning at Chelsea, 150 grand a week. For me, he's a 30k a week squad player. Yeah, he might kind of, because he's back at Everton and home comforts or whatever, he might feel settled and contribute. It's not the same team he came through in. He came through under Moyes 2012. Very good Everton side, obviously peaked 2013, 14, and through to 17. He was playing with the likes of Lukaku and Osman and Pienaar and very good actual players you can build up a team with. This is why I worry about perhaps bringing someone like Andre Gomes back, because you just think he's the one ball player in a whole squad. Utterly pointless. We're not going to start suddenly becoming a ball playing team. We know what we are. We play on transition. We're going to get it wide and cross it in. And some of the players just don't suit. And one of them that hasn't suited, unfortunately, was Lewis Gibson, who's just left Everton on a free transfer. He has gone over to Plymouth Argyle. Everton can't even be asked announcing this. A bit like the Moise Kean deal, which happened several months ago. He is no longer an Everton player. He's a Juventus player. But we didn't announce that, probably because some fans will be asking where the 27 million euros is and why is that not in the transfer kitty with the Anthony Gordon.
Moise Kean was also on our website as an Everton player all of last season. So even though everyone knew what was going on, it's funny. Yeah, LOL.
Good luck to Gibbo. He's gone to Plymouth Argyle. Moving on, right? This is the name that has refuses to go away, Chris. This is the Coventry striker.
My guy. Yeah, I've been on the Gyokeres train for about a year now. So go on. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Everton apparently have had bids rejected. So according to various sources, Coventry won a big fee. The ironic thing is he'll probably be playing for Sporting Lisbon in that preseason friendly at Goodison Park in just a few weeks' time. There's definitely legs in this, but you feel like there's something. I don't think it gets to this stage without encouragement from the player. But what could the hold up be here? Is this is a dragged out saga, isn't it? Really?
Well, if you recall last January, and again, to believe whatever you want to believe, because it was a little bit of rumor and innuendo, if you like, but Gyokeres seemed to be at or near the top of the list, along with players like Joao Pedro and others. Gyokeres, supposedly bids were made, and then as the transfer window got late, as I was referencing earlier, Coventry were raising their price to just an absurd amount that Everton weren't going to be able to pay
because they can't replace, so they have to justify it in their head. Yeah, I get that.
That's my guess as to what's going on now. I don't know that, but again, that's the ins and outs. That's rumors. That's what this is all about. So, what are Everton actually bidding? Don't know. I can't remember what it was in January. I want to say it was something like 15 to 20 million. I might be off on that though. I kind of forget. What Coventry were looking for at that point.
Yeah.
What's it say they're looking for now?
Well, 18 million is what Mr. Blue Skies is saying. And I have seen something like that. I mean, it's a lot of money for a championship player, but if he's good enough, I mean, you just hope these people have done the scouting and know that he can step up. At some point, you have to go to that Brighton model and take risks and get players in. And if 5 out of every 10 signings turn out to be good, it might be all right, because at the moment 9 out of 10 signings that we make suck, and so I would absolutely take that. Another player we link with, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about that guy Victor Gyokeres. Gyokeres, really?
That's what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Victor
Come on. It's fun to say. Joker. You can get on board with that.
You could tell me it was Gyokeres or Gyokeres, and I'll probably say it for the
Just
rest
imagine Peter Drury on our broadcast. Joker! Come on. Be great.
It's a bolt from the blue.
Yeah.
It's Joker.
Now that Andy,
no, it's not the tennis player.
now that Martin Tyler's retired, there seems to be an opening. So I'll be throwing my name in the hat, and we'll see what happens. Or my hat in the ring, whatever. Go on.
Charles de here's another one. Charles de Ketelaere, an 18 Milan midfielder. Milan want 30 million. Our friends at EFC Daily tweeted this. It's got 169,000 views. The tweet. The source is someone called Daniel F. Speranza, an Italian news journalist. He is a blue tick. It's verified, whatever that means. Journalist.
That doesn't mean anything.
You could literally make up an account, get yourself verified, and become a journalist.
Yeah.
And do it. And Chris, you've got to do that.
I'll do it. That's fine.
That would have some heads falling off. But yeah, £30 million Milan midfielder. People are losing their marbles, going, "Yeah, it'd be brilliant." I think it's just because it's a lot of money and he's foreign and plays for AC Milan. I don't know anything about this.
No, that's you're exactly right, and it's not the only one that there's a lot of money, because when fans see that number, they automatically get excited. The only exception, I think, maybe in the last year and a half of that would have been that fella Kudus, or however you say his last name. That one I'm not exactly sure, but he was the real deal. Still is.
Chris, they're not happy with you. They think it's Gyokeres. Robbie, our friend, saying, Ryan, Chris, my source tells me we're close to signing Hertz Van Rentel from Dutch League.
Oh, who's not happy? Peter Duggan's not happy, and we're believing Peter all of a sudden. Unbelievable.
Peter's one of our most loyal watchers.
I like Peter. We've chatted, but come on, it's Joker. That's how you say his name. Look it up.
I believe Everton are also close to pondering the thought about potentially looking at, perhaps considering the chance to think about maybe at some point looking at a potential opportunity of maybe signing a player.
I think Coco La Clown was a good shout by our buddy Robbie over there.
Everton are favourites, also apparently to sign William Gnonto, the Italian 19-year-old winger. Yeah, thank you. This is why you're here. This is why I pay you the big bucks.
I don't know all of them, but I know that one only because I like Willie.
If you like the show, buy a shirt. We're not asking for donations.
We've got
channel. We've got no Patreon. Just buy an Everton home shirt. We get commission.
We've got a billiards hall near me called Slick Willie's, and so he's not. I can't help but think that he's Slick Willie, and I think he's got a lot of potential. Young lad. Didn't set the world on fire at Leeds, but he seemingly did for a couple of games, and I really thought that would translate to the rest of the season. Matter of fact, I think I brought that up when we did that bottom 9 show or whatever, and it didn't really translate to the rest of it. So I don't really know what happened.
I watched him play against Nottingham Forest. He played left mid against Serge Aurier, and he made him cook his breakfast for him, and he looked really good. But then I think he was on the bench a lot of the time. I don't know whether quite trusted, or maybe they knew he was looking at bigger things, and maybe his head wasn't quite there. I think he's a player that I'd be interested in. Again, it's for potential, and we have to absolutely have someone coming in who can play on the wings and also up front who scores goals, and a striker who scores goals. 2 goal-scoring players that are going to contribute 25 between them next season is what we absolutely need. Is Nonto going to be one of them? I'm not Nonto sure. No, I'm not so sure. This is why people watch this show. Yeah, it's lighthearted and fun. I think he could be a good option for us, and it might make sense to get rid of Damari Gray and bring this guy in.
So I want to ask you about, you know what? We'll wait until we talk about players to get rid of, because there is a great disagreement about Damari Gray, but we'll get to that. I assume you're going to go through the rest of the entirety of Leeds' squad here in the next few seconds, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll also be linked with Jack Harrison. What are your thoughts on?
Well, we spoke about him, I guess, probably maybe 2 or 3 months ago, back when it might have even, wasn't sure if it was no, it couldn't. I was on the road for the post-match show of the last game of the year. Whatever the case, we brought up Harrison, we brought up Somerville, we brought up a couple of others. Harrison seemed to be the one at the top of the Leeds list, if you like. And so, I mean, let's just have it right. Even though I know you love to say we don't like to, or you hate that we raid relegation teams players and sides and all that sort of thing. But I think Jeff said it best in our private chat. There were three of them, all three of those guys we just mentioned, Llanto, Somerville, Harrison, and maybe even Rodrigo possibly as well. We thought about it for a second, and then we said, yeah, they'd probably jump right in the squad, which is sad, but it's just true. So I'd have Harrison for sure. I think the other ones you could probably maybe have a debate on, but I don't see anybody who would be turning Harrison down if it's reasonable.
If I remember correct, Chris, Harrison, I think, got 7 or 8 goals. I think he scores a similar amount of goals to what Dwight McNeil did last season.
A lot of them on the back end of the season, much like Dwight McNeil, as a matter of fact. He really started to come into his own towards the end there.
And I think in a squad with 9 on the bench, is it 9 on the bench?
I believe so, yeah.
You've got to have options to come on in 5 substitutions. He's a type of player you absolutely need to change games and fresh legs. And if you're doing that, if you're not doing that, you're immediately at disadvantage. So at this stage, would I probably take him for a decent, it was a good fee? Yes. But listen, I think Everton need to think a little bit more out of the box in terms of recruitment and get these players in like this. Bilal Toure, before they become a high, expensive 40 million euros, and maybe when they're 10 million, and take a punt and try and get them in and develop them. Well, because at the moment we're just failing. The academy's failing. We're not producing anyone, and all we're doing is paying inflated fees for these players.
Right, but would you rather have a player like Toure knowing that he's likely the only signing because of the massive price tag, or would you rather have 3 players or 4 at a lower price come in and possibly make a difference? Because remember, we've done this before with a player who just immediately goes down injured. Maybe not. I forget what the fee for Gabaman was. It wasn't near that. But my point is that's a completely wasted everything. And so you're putting all your eggs in this basket of one superstar player, and that's great. But the problem is we're so thin that we are unfortunately in the position of having to spread out assets and money, seemingly, if we have.
Right. Personally, I could put up with another year of Michaelenko first choice left back and Patterson Coleman's sort of
please
right
someone
back.
Save this clip because we're playing it again in 2 or 3 months. You will be so mad that you said that.
I can put up with another year of him. I really don't like him. And I can put up a year of Coleman and Patterson, and I'm not that keen, or I don't think either of them are quite. I'm still thinking about Everton being a European contender. I know I need to get out that mindset, but it's been 2 years really of failure. But
right, but so you're saying we're not going to sign any defender whatsoever from what you just.
No, I'll tell you exactly what I'm saying. I can tolerate us keeping these players and not investing in those areas. If you said to me, Ryan, I'm going to spend 70 million and I'm going to get you in installments and structure and Klarna and paper credit and Barclaycard and all these different, whatever method you want to pay.
Barclaycard.
I will.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I will. If someone said to me, you can do that, and I'll give you a number 9 who will score 15 goals for us next season, and I'll give you a number 7 or 11, play on either flank. And if we're stuck and everyone's out injured up front, you can throw him up front, and he's a brilliant. He'll chip in. He'll get 10 assists next season and 7 or 8 goals. I would I'll go, yeah, okay. I'll put it with Michaelenko. I'll put it with them because I know I'm getting these 2 players in, and that's our business. We're going to keep Andre Gomez. He's going to replace Tom Davis in the squad, and we're going to move on and go from there. But the sad thing is, I think Everton, what they always try and do, and this is not what likes Liverpool do and all the other teams, we try and spread. We get £1 and we'll spread it as far as we can. And actually, that approach doesn't work. I think we need to put the effort into maybe 2 big players, and then we'll have to supplement with some free transfers and loans. But we absolutely have to throw that budget at the number 9 and number 11 position, because I am not going to tolerate. I could tolerate the crap defenders. I could possibly put up with a year of Tarkovsky, and I really don't want Godfrey. We'll talk about that in a sec. I might not be able to put up with a year of Michael Keane and any of those other defenders, and I'm not sure Jared Branthwaite.
I see.
Yeah, so there is a problem. I'd probably give Yerry Mina a 1 year. I absolutely would just go back to Yerry and say, actually, you know what? Can you come back?
By the way, did he not officially? Sorry for being behind the times here. He didn't join Fulham.
No.
Okay.
Not yet. He's in talks with different clubs, different Fenerbahce as well. I probably would say to him, look, because we've got to prioritize strikers and these we've got these world class youngsters coming through. I think you have to listen. We'll talk. We're going to come. I promise we'll come to the squad in a sec. This Bilal Toure fella, 21 years old, 7 goals last season. I think in twice as many appearances. Massive potential. Apparently, we've offered 40 million euros, but not in the format of the terms that they want. they want this release clause paid sharpish, and we want to pay it over 4 seasons or 3 seasons. I mean, that's fairly normal for clubs to do that anyway. And if they're not in a big financial difficulty, you'd hope that they'd be okay with that and give them some cash flow for future seasons. They're a small club, really. Would you like to see this guy? I mean, he's been described as a phenomenal striker.
Of course, if he's worth the price tag. But I'm not gonna. Again, I'm not gonna pretend to know a ton about this guy if I don't. But if he's worth the price, and I'd be happy to do that research, then of course I'd like to see him. If I don't know if I fully agree with you in terms of what you're saying. Spend all the money just on one position, or even two for that matter. And again, that's just me looking at the overall depth of the squad and knowing our injury history over the last 2 years and how that's really 3 years, probably longer than that, how it's affected us. I am terrified of someone getting injured and then us having literally no players. We can't even, can barely even field a squad. And then all of a sudden we're going to Burnley and losing, 3-0, whatever.
Yeah. But Chris, we've got to, at some point, we've got to go quality over quantity.
I understand that, but I don't think this is that time though. That I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think we are in a different position than we would like to be in. And I think you're not giving enough credence to that fact that we have about a few players right now, and then you and I's phone have been ringing to see if we can, still play. Like it's very, very thin.
I'm not disputing at all. In an ideal world, I would love a left back. I would probably love a central midfielder. I'd love a centre half, a left-footed centre back. Get rid of all of them, and I'd love a striker and a winger, at least one forward. All I'm saying is, if someone said, look, Ryan, we can't afford to buy everyone, and the quality of player dictates that we have to do it this way,
right,
then fine, I accept that. I mean, I don't want that. As I'm saying, I want us to go and buy in all those positions. We absolutely need a left back.
Did anyone not get injured last season with the exception of Tarkowski and maybe Gyokeres?
Listen, the only players that really spring to mind as having injury problems was Calvert-Lewin. Yerry Mina got himself.
You're not remembering things properly.
My brain has removed it. Listen, I'm not talking about 6-month injuries. There were, Patterson got injured. There were players that had injuries. They're part of football. We need a squad. I agree. I'm just saying it. Look, if someone said you're only getting 2 players, but they're going to be quality, or I can give you 4 players and they're going to be the Connor Codys and the Andros Townsends of this world, I'd probably say I go with the 2. Because I'm not going to sit and watch another year of Everton doing that, fannying around at the back with Michael Keane, giving it away in the own goals. Iwobi trying to cross the ball with his wedge foot. Calvert-Lewin getting himself injured so he could mess around with his bird and get her pregnant. I'm not interested in any of that. I said that for his reaction, and he absolutely got exactly what I thought it would get.
I don't condone that last statement. Congratulations to Dominic Calvert-Lewin and his partner.
Oh, Mazel Tov. Congratulations to you, Dominic. But I'm trying to make light of this situation that the guy was not a reliable option for us. And we are a multi-million-pound business trying to be successful.
True.
You've got hundreds of thousands of fans emotionally investing their lives into this. I personally am one of them, dedicates a hell of a lot of time, not only with this channel and Twitter and everything, but just as a fan. And I'm not accepting anything. The same way you won't accept the board and all that sort of stuff. I can't accept watching these guys again, and I'll be absolutely devastated if we don't get players in. I obviously want several players. I'm just saying I want quality. I don't want to watch rubbish players. We've got rubbish players. I don't want any more rubbish players. Apparently, MK Dons are going for Reece Welch on loan. Of course, we'll come back to you if there's any update on Al Bilal. There's apparently 3 other clubs that are interested in that signing. And in other news, Duncan Ferguson has been sacked.
I wasn't sure if you covered that already before I jumped in or not.
The vegans have dispatched. Really, really want a good sort of euphemism there.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all jokes aside, we were really all pulling for Dunk, for at least everybody I knew. And I'm surprised that the decision was made now. Why would the decision not have been made a month or 2 ago? There must have been some weird internal backlash as far as where the direction of the club was headed, right? I mean, this is a weird time to be sacking a manager unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know where he goes from here. Could he come back?
What do you mean? Of course he's coming back. What do you mean where he goes?
Do you think that's what he's doing?
Where else would he go? Now, listen, you said it best though earlier. I think that he inherited a sinking ship and he had no chance. I mean, there was nothing that was going to save Forest Green this season, not bar none. But I don't see where. I mean, he'll certainly, he'll make some television appearances. He's pretty good with a microphone in his hand. But as far as in the coaching realm, I don't see where he would get another head manager job if not at Forest Green right now. They're not, they've just been relegated from League Two. I don't know where. I don't know what would have been next.
Chris, we're coming towards the end of this stream, and it's been an absolute privilege to have you back on. I mean that I've missed your friendship and your presence.
Thanks,
if you're planning on doing one again, give me the heads up so I can recruit a like-for-like replacement in the transfer market.
But that doesn't mean I'll be away forever just because I'm still, doing journeys and things like that. We still keep in touch. I jump on. But shout out to everybody else. We've got a big channel. They can jump on. Wezo's done great. We could still fill the void. I think everyone, we've said this before, and I'm not knocking anybody. Please understand that. It's been a very frustrating couple of years. And I think everyone really just needed time to kind of like do their own thing and not be stressed out. And I can totally respect that.
I know you want to talk about this before we wrap things up. And of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, and just like the video right now on YouTube and Facebook, etc., etc. It's important with the way the algorithm works. I hope you like my new home shirt. If you want to get one for yourself, the link is in the description. Yes, it's an affiliate link. Why else would I be putting it in there? No, genuinely, always get myself the new home shirt anyway. And this is one of the nicer.
It hurts no one and helps us.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I think it goes without saying, Jordan Pickford. We keep Jordan Pickford under. We can't have.
What would you sell him? No, everybody's got a price. What would you sell him for?
Right now, we cannot create any more problems. We cannot simply afford to sell players now. I said we had a deadline. Anyone who wants to go has to go by 30th of June. And you can leave 30th of June. If you're a good player, that is. If you're one of our better players, 30th of June, that's your deadline. If you want to go, we'll sell you. I think with the problems we have already, we can't afford to create more holes. Certainly a Jordan Pickford giant hole. And I will want at least double what we bought him for, which is around 60 to 70 million. He's in his prime. I don't want to sell.
Listen, that would be amazing. But he also, I think it seems like he doesn't want to leave anyway, depending on what you believe.
No, he's settled. He's got his house and his kids. And listen, we need a backup goalkeeper. Begovic is apparently going Luton Town. Where do you start with that? I mean,
I don't know. That's a weird spot.
We're not in any enough competitions to rotate keepers.
I've heard that Joel Robles was contemplating coming back, but again, that might just been one of the random Twitter rumors. I don't know.
Would you like to come and sit on our bench and earn 30k a week and do nothing?
Yes.
That's pretty much the best job in football. No, it isn't really if you've got any ambition and actually like doing something.
But how old are these players? I mean, if you're, it's comparable to being a backup quarterback in the NFL. You get paid millions of dollars to sit there and not get hit in practice and just, to basically help out looking at videos and things like that. It's the best job in the world, probably, but certainly American football. It's crazy.
Great job.
Anyway,
Tarkovsky is not available. Patterson, of course, will be part of the squad next season, but moving throughout the defense, Mason Holgate absolutely needs to move on now. He was linked with Sheffield United as part of a deal for their Ndiaye, their Senegalese midfielder, who we actually bid for apparently in January and got rejected. So we're interested in a few swap type deals.
Right.
Holgate has got to move on. He's on big wages.
Sorry. Hang on. Before we get to the rest of this, I've got to ask you because we didn't bring this player up. Would you have Danjuma?
Probably. It's desperate, isn't it?
I don't want him.
He's horrible.
Depending on, I need to know what happened. Was it his doing or was it his agent's doing? Because if it's his agent,
disgusting.
Well,
He's
I know,
disgusting guy.
but I know how agents work. So if that was the case and it wasn't on him, but again, we don't know, and that's part of I guess the beauty of being a fan or whatever. I don't know if I'd have him or not. I'd probably lean towards yes, but I still can't forget what happened. All right, go on. Anyway,
I can't think of a good analogy, but if he was called and said, "Look, they're going to pay twice as much and you're going to play just as much," I'd probably go. And they're fighting for Europe. It's one of them. He doesn't got no ties to us. He's just the guy's a bell end. Let's be honest. But I probably would have him because beggars can't be choosers at this stage. And he has got a good reputation, and I think he was fighting a losing battle again, with some very good players at Spurs. Right. One player I did miss, unfortunately, is the Leeds striker Rodrigo. He's available for €3 million. He's 32. He's played for Sevilla. He's a Spanish international. 13 goals last season. I think you need experienced heads in there. If you can get him on a decent salary and offer him a 2-year contract, I think he could fulfill a squad role at Everton. Coming in and out the side and supporting.
I don't think that would be any contribution, quite honestly. Even though it's little money, I think it would be wasted money. But that's just my
I'm sure you'd say the same about Dembele then. We need good players. I want to see like a Rodrigo, an experienced head, and then a one young upcoming goal scorer like Il Bilal, and I'll be happy. I mean, I don't even know who these. Don't even know. I hadn't heard of him a week ago, and I want this guy.
Yeah, now he's your favorite player.
He's my favorite player of all time. Michael Keane as well. He's got a year on his contract. He's not going anywhere, is he? Under Dyche, he's
no shot. Honestly, he's probably. I hate to say he's a starter, but he certainly is in preseason. But until we sign anyone else, because there's just almost no one you can put back there unless you put the man you're about to say in the position that he played a couple of seasons ago in Ben Godfrey.
Holgate has got no future. Michael Keane should, for the sake of his career, move on, but he won't. Really nice lad, but I'm bored of watching him. I want some fresh energy, and I liked Connor Cody, although he was a little bit.
Connor Cody was a nice lad, said all the right things, but I continue to say, from a financial perspective, he's not worth that money. And I've seen some people say, well, if we can't spend 4.5 million, then we can't spend anything. It's not about that. It's about using the money smartly, and Cody is not worth that. Just because, listen, I know Cody looked better because of what we saw in the alternative with Michael Keane. Just because a footballer is better than Michael Keane doesn't make them a very good footballer. That's just what it is. And so I like Cody. If Cody was our only choice, okay, I could put up with it rather than seeing Michael Keane, but that doesn't mean we need to be spending that amount of money on him. Just is what it is. That's my thought. Some people think differently. Amy thinks differently. She loves Connor Cody.
We've got the other option there, as you say, Ben Godfrey as a player. He's not quite. I don't know what his role is. I don't quite identify. He's a very quick, sort of athletic centre back. But after I watched him against Newcastle, and in previous times last season, I'd be honest and say I would rather not watch this guy play for Everton again.
I'm going to hope that we had a long discussion about this, about where he is in here. And I said after the Newcastle game, he's done for the season, and he was. But I don't know. I hope the offseason kind of does him a favor because that's more of a need to get your confidence back type. And I'm not pretending like he's a world-class footballer. But what I am saying is I think that given the right setup, he could at least be a contributor. And even if that means coming off the bench, whatever, I still think there's a little bit of talent in Godfrey. And maybe that's just naivety on my part, but that's just what my gut tells me. So I'm hoping an offseason can do well for him mentally, and then we'll see what happens, because I don't think at this point we'd be getting a lot of money for him anyway.
I hope so. I would like him to kind of be that recovery centre back with pace and, alongside the stopper, but I just don't see it. We've not seen it. He can't head a ball really positionally all over the place. He's not my cup of tea. He's awful. Just also talking about
hang on before you move on. He's behind in terms of awful. He's still behind Holgate and Keane for me. Where would you put him? You know what I mean? Like it's not like I didn't love watching Godfrey play, but I still would rather him every single day on the pitch over Holgate and Keane. Maybe Keane you can make an argument for, but maybe that's just my personal belief. I mean,
he's just as bad as Keane, but he's better than Holgate.
Okay, so you have him in the. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Holgate's like a centre back with no attributes that actually make you. He's got no physique. He's got no pace. I
don't even think he's a centre back. I don't care what his position plays. He's not a true centre half. Okay.
I don't know what he is.
Yeah.
Good luck to him. Bless him. He's been at Everton.
And great guy. Makes the lads laugh. He's probably the most loved player on the squad in terms of just vibes, and that's great. But we still need to put some points on the board. Anyway, moving on.
So they might want to keep him for that, but he's on 70K a week or something. Right. So we've got to. And Keane's on 90 grand a week. We've got to move these players on and get young upcoming players. And one of them is Jared Branthwaite. And I didn't watch a lot of him at PSV, but he won the Dutch Cup and all that, and he's got to be given a chance. And I think that Keane, Holgate, and Godfrey should go, and Everton really should.
You need to tell me what does this mean? Translation.
You're talking rubbish. Godfrey's awful.
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay, go on.
I can't remember what the point I was going to make a second ago. The centre-half position is just unbearable.
It's dreadful. Yeah. But Tarkowski tries to shore it up, and Tarkowski's one of the better signings we've made in a long time, and it was free. And that's what I mean. We don't need to spend absurd amounts of money on players who can come in.
Chris, this video is making me sick. I mean, I'm looking at the squad.
Remember that time I said I don't care about Everton and everybody jumped on me? This is why. Now we're upset, and now we're ill.
The central defensive positions are awful, and the fullback positions are poor. Particularly left back, Vitaly Mykolenko, he can go.
No, but he can't go.
No, we can't because we're prioritizing. He's not going to go.
No, who talk about not being able to replace? Who's going to play left back if Mykolenko's not there?
We're going to sign someone.
Do you remember how bad it was last season when after these post-match reactions we were saying we were almost apologizing for saying we didn't want to see Mykolenko there given what we just saw in replacement, whether it was Holgate or Godfrey or whoever they tried to slide in at left back. It was so bad on another level. And it was shocking how much we actually wanted to see Mykolenko back at left back. It was crazy.
We've gone from Luca Dean, Leighton Baines, and Anthony Robinson as third choice to this guy they've just like literally plucked from Ukraine and brought him over. It's just laughable.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry. I've been told.
Awful. I know this is coming across really negative, but and we did all the fun.
It's reality.
I'm bringing you back down to earth here. Amadou Onana, I don't want to sell this guy. But if you're offering me some silly money and we can invest it, you take it. But if we've got aspirations as a club, we have to keep these better players.
I think that, well, you know what? I can't even say that because Onana's still being highly valued. I was going to say, I think that with a decent or even better season than last season, Onana's fee could go up, but he's still being very highly valued by a lot of clubs right now. No, I don't want to sell Onana, by the way. I'm on the don't sell Onana train, but that's a debate.
Lila's funny. She says, season hasn't even started yet, and we're wondering if we're going to stay up.
Remember the days of
at this stage, Lila, I think we'll all take 17th. Dominic Calvert-Lewin,
that's sad.
He can go if an offer came.
What's the offer going to be that would satisfy you, though?
15.
Remember when it was rumored? Wait, what'd you say? 15?
15 mil. Yeah.
God, I would never sell Calvert. Well, I would probably not.
He doesn't play. He doesn't play.
Neither did Mina, but everybody wanted him back. Okay, that's a horrible comparison because we were all on the Calvert-Lewin train last season, hoping that he came back because we saw how different our attack was when he was back. Listen, it's to the point where we just have to hope it works, and that's sad, and that's like it's powerless and all that sort of thing. But his value right now is so low that we just have to roll the dice and hope that this investment pays off, right?
I wonder whether Sheffield United would be interested in swapping him for that Ndiaye guy. I mean, he's got 2 goals last season, 5 the season before. We're relying on this bloke. His best season was 16 in 33, but he was playing with some unbelievable players.
You're talking about Calvert-Lewin, right?
Yeah, and most of them were tap-ins that I would expect.
I don't know about that. Not most of them. Go back and watch.
And 13 the season before. And then the other seasons were 6 in 35, 4 in 32. This guy has had 2 good seasons in his whole career. And, they're not even that good, really. That 2020-21 team under Ancelotti was unbelievable. But listen, I might be being a bit too harsh, but 7 goals in 2 years.
It's
dispensable.
At the end of the day, hang on. I'm not gonna let it off that easy because it wasn't just the goals. It was what he was setting up. It was the defenders that he was drawing near him. The entire attack changed. And what I'm saying is, we want him fit for a whole season, right? Obviously, we need more than last season. If he can even play 2/3 of the season, or possibly a little more, I think we have to roll with Calvert-Lewin. I think that's where it is because he is such a better striker than anything that we currently have. And unless we sign someone else, which that's why it's a big if. If we sell Calvert-Lewin, I'm not convinced we're going to sign anybody. That's what I think I'm more scared of than anything.
A good team has 3 or 4 forwards,
right?
And one of them or 2 of them can play also on the wing or behind the strike, possibly. Calvert-Lewin's an out-and-out number 9. If he's fit, he's going to want to play. He could play in a 4-4-2. I just think at this stage, I'm over the guy and I'm bored of talking about him. And that's possibly why I'd sell him. I like him.
You're just mad because he didn't come sign your book when you were in the box.
He's fantastic. He's fantastic when he's fit. But it's boring talking about this guy week in, week out. Was he going to be available and all this sort of stuff? So save yourself the stress and he can go if he wants. In an ideal world, yes, you would keep him, but he would, on the basis of him contributing at least in 25 games next season.
Right.
Demarai Gray, Chris, I think he got 2 non-penalty goals last season and only a couple of assists.
One was
he flatters to deceive, doesn't he?
I don't know about the. I am on the Demarai Gray train. I think that he's. How am I going to put this diplomatically? I love the kid's speed. I love his ability to kind of seemingly have the guts to try and take something over. Right? He doesn't play scared. He takes it to him occasionally. Obviously, he'll find that moment like he did against Arsenal a couple of years ago, like he did against Man City last season. And he's a solid penalty taker if we need that. If he's not going to play, as seemingly is the case in Dyche's system, then I'm all about getting rid of him because there's no sense in just having a player that's not going to play. And we all know how Dyche is with making subs. So I don't mind having a Demarai Gray coming off the bench on some sort of reasonable wages, but it just I'm not convinced that he's even going to see much of the pitch next season, and that's what concerns me.
I mean, he's 27. He's coming into his prime. 9 goals in 67 games. 4 goals last season, 5 the season before. He's a chip-in type player, but he's really the chip-in type player you want off the bench.
Right.
Starting a few games. You can't rely on him.
No. But, well, yeah, okay.
4 goals and 2 of them were pens.
I'm not saying he's a world-class player, but I'm saying in terms of what we have now and who we wouldn't mind going and all that. And again,
he's never scored more than 4 goals in the season in the Premier League. Oh, he did get 5.
I didn't say he was Jamaica's starting number 9, although he is starting for Jamaica right now in the Gold Cup. He switched allegiances. I don't know if you knew that. Jamaica, man.
He's poor. Iwobi again. I mean, I said at the start of last season, we haven't got goal scorers. We saw that.
I'm okay with
someone.
I'm okay with Iwobi going. I was a big Iwobi defender for a while, and while I don't mind the things Iwobi's done, he's not. I think Iwobi has positive qualities. I don't think they're nearly enough to warrant the wages and the fee we paid, etc. Like what Iwobi has certainly not delivered on that front. Yes, he's gotten very much better than what he was when we got him. He still can't deliver a cross. He takes it with possession and has a little bit of better footwork, and that's great, but it's still not to the standard that we want. I hate to. I mean, I don't want to write the guy off. He seems like he's played with passion and tried to get better and all that. And to be fair, in terms of effort, that's all you can ask. But he makes too many mistakes. And when he does make these mistakes, he does this weird tantrum and kind of cost us a couple of precious seconds getting back on defense. And that sounds small, but that's what's so frustrating. Like, keep playing the game when you do make a mistake. I see that far too often. So while I'm not an Iwobi hater by any means, I wouldn't mind seeing him go if we can get a reasonable fee.
I can't consider myself an Iwobi hater either, Chris. But when you look at the stats, 1 goal in 25, 1 goal in 30, 2 goals in 28, 2 goals in 38. This guy's played attacking midfielder. He's played up front. He's played left wing and right wing. It's horrific.
Right. Now, I agree with everything you said. The only thing I will say, if someone wants to defend Iwobi, what they can say is, from when Lampard took over to from when Lampard took over to when Lampard left, there were many matches where we came on here or could come on here and say, what are your player ratings? And Iwobi would have been the top because there were times when it seemed like Iwobi was the only one putting in effort.
He's been good for about 8 months in 4 years.
No. That's not good. I'm just saying that would be the defense.
I think that's why he's not got a new contract for 100K a week.
And he won't.
Maybe he's looking at something.
Wasn't
else.
he trying to wait a minute? Wasn't the rumor that he was turning that down or turning down some ridiculous contract extension that we were trying to offer him, which no one really understood? I hope that wasn't what was actually happening.
Looking at this with preseason starting on Thursday and this squad with the crap options we've got a centre half, full back, and on the wing, and nothing up front.
Right.
This is not good.
Who have we missed, by the way? Ghana, Gay, and Gyokeres come to mind.
McNeil,
obviously.
Gyokeres, Gay, McNeil are all players that are good, and then unavailable.
Gyokeres just re-signed. Ghana, Gay is not going anywhere. McNeil's obviously. McNeil is our man of the season, with the exception of maybe Tarkovsky. Some people can throw in Pickford if they want, but McNeil's certainly not going anywhere.
And James Garner obviously has got a big role to play next season. So you're looking at this. Obviously, we talked about Sims and Branthwaite. João Virginia could potentially come back, maybe be the backup keeper. I don't think he's good enough. I mean, he's been on loan at some random team. Cambuur in Holland, 17 games for them. His career's kind of a bit stagnated. Neil Maupay, of course, got to move him on. 5 million quid or something. If you can get that for him.
See, here's the thing. I agree, we need to be getting a fee because you have to get some sort of money back at some point. But from a tactical or just Everton standpoint in general, I'm fine with Maupay leaving on a free because I do think at times he is a liability by being on the pitch rather than having literally anyone else. That sounds bad, but it's just a fact. Anyone else that would try or put in any effort or possibly be able to go up for a header, anything. Maupay delivered nothing last season. So, yes, of course, we want to get value for him. But what I mean is, like, from a statistical and just tactical perspective, I'm okay with this.
Nearly got the most important assist in years when he crossed it to Connor Cody at Goodison for that.
Oh, I think I actually still have a bruise on my leg from the limbs from celebrating that goal. I was at that game.
Devastated.
Yes. Hey, I won a lot of money on that game though, so because I bet win or draw. Shout out, Billy Hill. Go on.
How much did you put on though?
Too much. Won't say publicly.
But, go on. Okay. Go stream.
1,000 quid.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus wept.
So turn my trip around. I was having a bad poker trip, so it was 7-1 to win, and I think it was 3.3 to 1 to draw. So I ended up making 30 or what did I bet? So it's at 2,300 quid, something like that.
Was it worth it, the risk?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, given that hindsight and I won, but I mean, this is why I don't bet. I only put in a bet. No lie. I put in a bet either once a year or maybe twice a year if I'm attending matches, but I don't do it because it changes the way I watch a game. I can't watch it. Like I couldn't even enjoy that game at all because I'm sitting there kind of like internally like this, and then Salah hit the post, and what was it, like the 80-something minute, and my heart just sank.
Davis hit the post as well.
That too, but you know what I mean? Like at the end on the park inside, which I was in the main stand closer to the park inside, and Liverpool had 2 absurd chances right at the end of that game. And
there were good chances.
But no, when Maupay, oh man, when that was when Cody's went in, I mean, we just went insane.
You lost 3,000 quid.
I did, but I couldn't think of it because it had been such a bad trip. And so that turned everything around honestly for a lot of months, because I had, for the rest of the trip over there, it was solid for poker. And then when I got back here, I was doing well too. So shout out to Everton for that 0-0 masterpiece. What up, Frank Lampard? Never forget.
We could have won that. We could have lost it as well.
Right.
I've only got a few players left to mention, and then we'll wrap things up. We've been on here for nearly an hour and a half. Fantastic stream, though. And we do appreciate you joining us. Andre Gomez, Dele Alli, and Jean-Philippe Gbamin. Are you going to keep any of these?
I thought Gbamin was gone already. I thought he said he was leaving. No, well, I don't know, man. I was one of Andre Gomez's biggest critics when he was here and I always prefaced it with, I almost don't blame the guy because of the injury and what happened. And subconsciously, you can't even run the same way, much less play football the same way, because you're always looking over your shoulder. You've lost a step, etc. But it just is what it is. Given what we have now, I don't know. Would you mind seeing a Gomez come off the bench? That's up to you, I guess.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you look at the options we've got and what we saw, you kind of become a bit more drawn to this. But at the same time, he's got a year left and he's on £120,000 a week. you don't see him staying at Everton next season. Let Sean Dyche make the decision on him. I'm more interested in keeping Gomez than I would Dele Alli and Gabamin. I mean, Gomez and Garner and Gay, the two of them were good.
Where do we start with Dele Alli?
I can't even be, mate. I can't even be asked talking about him.
I don't want. I think I love that I've seen some people talk about. Yeah, okay, give Dele Alli a shot. I don't care what payments we have to make to Spurs. Do people realize how absurd those payments actually are? If we play Dele Alli and it contributes nothing, just do a little bit of research into what we're about to pay Spurs for that. Given the fact that we have almost no money anyway to sign people, Dele Alli cannot come back.
I'd say to Spurs, we gave you Richarlison, blah blah blah. We've looked after you, etc. We've got a good relationship. Can you write off that? Because all he's going to do for the boy's career, we'll give him a punt on his wages, but we're not going to pay 10 million quid.
Yeah, but it's more than that though. It's 10 million for a certain amount of appearances, and then another 10 if he makes a certain amount of other appearances. Wasn't the total fee something like 40 million? If we, it can't happen. Think about how much money.
But if he was good,
what's that?
If he scored 10 goals next season playing attacking midfield.
If the sky fell, I mean, come on, like that's never gonna happen. Mirror. Yeah, Dele. Listen, I don't know what I can play this whole game. If he does this, I'll eat this table. Like that's just it will not happen. It can't.
Okay, Jean-Philippe Gabamin, absolutely no chances for a comeback. Dele Alli, I'd say there's a 25% chance. Maybe they'll look at it in preseason. He's paying the wages anyway, and if he's not gone, he's not gone.
Right.
Andre Gomez, I'd say there's like a 35% chance. I don't know. It's probably a lot less than this, actually. It's like 25%.
Ken Wright loves Gomez's hair. I promise. He'll bring him back.
And then there's Tom Cannon. I want to see him involved in the squad based on.
Very much want to see Tom Cannon involved. You didn't mention Branthwaite, by the way.
Depending on what business we do, Branthwaite and Cannon can go on loan. But we'd have to sign 3 centre halves.
You don't want to see. Oh, okay. You don't want to see Branthwaite next season.
I don't know if he's good enough, but I think I want to see what he's about in preseason. Hopefully, he can cement that first choice centre back spot.
I'm kind of sad I won't see Everton over here. 2 years running, Everton was in America, but they were worried they were going to get relegated, so they didn't schedule a tour. Sad face. That's why, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Leeds were originally supposed to be part of this whole American tour they were doing, but they had to pull them because Leeds were stuck in a relegation battle with about 6 weeks to go.
Why? I don't get it. Sorry.
So it's a Premier League American tour. There's like a 6-team tournament, whatever it is. And they ended up including the likes of Brighton and Newcastle and a couple of other teams, whatever it was. Leeds were originally supposed to be part of this tour because Leeds had, I think, 3 American players on their team at least. And so Leeds got pulled right before they announced who was going to be in it, because if a team gets relegated, then it's not a Premier League tour anymore, because now it's just a throw whoever you want in. So that's why Everton wasn't in this season's tour as well, because we were locked in a battle all season, obviously, relegation battle.
Sorry about that.
Apology accepted.
Well, it's been fun. Going through the squads making me feel a bit sick. I don't think we've got anything else to add, Chris, really, but we'll be back with any news we can. I'm hoping that you're going to be active with myself now moving forward. And if there's anything,
I'll be around. And real quick, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everybody's support on Twitter and YouTube and wherever has been awesome. I appreciate everybody checking up on me and all that good stuff. And we will have some cool content coming out very, very soon. So just be patient, because I'm trying to be patient with myself. There's so much to do, and I have to do it all myself with the editing and all this. So it's going to take a couple weeks, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But it's good to be back. And despite what I say, I'm still looking forward to watching football again. I just really hope we don't start out with this. We have to sign somebody. My God, if I see this squad go out and then lose the first 5 games, I don't know. What are we going to do? We're just going to be on here crying every week again.
No, I think we'll have to close the channel if we're as bad as the last 2 seasons. Right, I'm going to go and have a lie down, go and have a rest. Enjoy the rest of your day, Chris. Thank you so much. Be sure to check out Chris's channel at Real Domino Chris on all social media. That's YouTube and Twitter. And of course, like this video, subscribe if you're new. And if you're watching back, leave your comments. What did you think about the show? Did you enjoy it? What do you think about the players we mentioned and the player links? Who do you want to see Everton come in this summer out of those names? Is it Rodrigo? Is it El Bilal Toure? Is it Lionel Messi? Is it Tom Davis back? Let us know, and we'll be back. I mean, at the moment, we're kind of doing a video once a week, but I think if there's more news, certainly with the players coming back to pre-season, we might up that to 2 videos a week
or
we'll
7.
See.
We'll see.
See you
Cheers,
later.
everyone.
See you, Chris.
Cheers, buddy. What can we chat about? I'm still alive. We can do whatever. I can do whatever I want. Here we go. Let's talk about